Hey guys, OGalbina here, bringing you guys a new discussion type video today. I went on Twitter and I asked, my people who follow me on Twitter. By the way, follow me on Twitter. I'm not very smart. Up there, OG_Albina. And I asked my followers on Twitter, especially my Draft League followers and stuff like that, people who follow Draft, what Pokemon they would like to see buffed in some way, shape, or form, whether that be movesets, ability, stats, any stuff like that. And we're gonna kind of go over them, maybe come up with some ideas and things like that. See what the people want. See what you guys at home really want to see get better and things like that. So it should be a lot of fun. Let me know if you enjoy videos like this. I think this could be a lot of fun for sure. Just kind of theory modding and talking about things that we wish Game Freak would do, but we know they ultimately won't because we asked them to, and Game Freak doesn't do anything we ask them to do. But it could definitely be a good time for sure. So yeah, if you like videos like this, you have any ideas for other videos like this, definitely let me know. Follow me on Twitter, and sub if you haven't done so already. And yeah, let's go ahead and jump in. So first off, we're actually gonna start with, we have a lot actually to go through. We got way more than I thought we were actually going to get, but we can kind of start with this one that my good buddy ITZ Watifa Ant gave me, and that was, he just threw a Pokemon at me. He just said Bouffant, Hitmontop, Bruxish, Sandslash, and Zebstrika. Now, I don't know how exactly he wants to, get these going. So let's go ahead and go. Bouffant. I remember there was Hitmontop. We'll kind of talk about these as we go. And then we'll go Zebby. Bruxish, I know that was one. Bruxish, and what else? Oop. Oop. Okay. Oop. Goodness gracious, Owen. I probably should have gotten rid of these tabs beforehand, but, who cares at this point. We're gonna get rid of the other one. Awesome. So Bouffant and Sandslash. Okay. Now, I can think of some pretty good ones other than Hitmontop, really, because I think Hitmontop got buffed exponentially this gen. And I know Ant just said that because he absolutely loves Hitmontop, one of his favorite mons, so I don't blame him at all. But definitely a really solid mon. I know this gen, it obviously got the rapid spin buff, it got triple axle, it made like technician sets a lot better. The only thing I really see really helping Hitmontop is knockoff. I think knockoff would be absolutely amazing for Hitmontop. It's really just fodder for a lot of bulky psychics and ghosts, and I think having that knockoff option that I believe both of the Hitmon, its brethren and Hitmonchan and Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee both get, I think it would be absolutely amazing for this thing to, get that coverage. Because other than this, it doesn't really have great coverage. It has Sucker Punch, which is incredibly unreliable, especially versus those fat psychics. Versus Ghosts, maybe, but you're also burn fodder, and there's easy ways to play around that. Pursuit's obviously cut from the game. And then you got Thief, which is, boosted by a Technician if you are running a Technician top set, or I guess Brutal Swing, but you'd probably want to go Thief just because it's better overall. So not the worst thing in the world. It is an option, but I think Knockoff would obviously be exponentially better, not only giving you great utility, even more utility that Hitmontop already has, but, giving it a strong move to hit those things and, really beef up its offensive presence as well as, really helping it with utility. Big Bouffant. What do I think Bouffant needs? This is actually a really cool mon that I really want to try. Maybe giving it a more middling speed tier. It could be a really potent wall breaker in some matchups with like headless head charge, reckless head charges and stuff like that. That move is strong. It's 100% accurate. It has a little bit of recoil, but with reckless, the thing is doing a ton of damage. So maybe giving it like a clean, like not even anything crazy, like maybe even like 70 speed, because it really doesn't look 55 base seed slow. I mean, you look at Tauros. Tauros has double the speed that this thing has. Like, exactly double the speed that this thing has. And they look almost like... Tauros looks like it should be faster, but double? I don't know. I feel like that's pretty crazy. So, I could totally see Bouffant getting, like, base 70, even 75 speed would be really clutch for this thing, especially with the really beefy defense stats it has. 95 all around, 110. It gets access to cool moves like Cotton Guard and Swords Dance. It gets close combat and Earthquake for steals. Really dope mon. It gets Lash Out for Ghosts and things like that. So, I think the Bouffant's actually a really dope low tier normal. It's a mon that I really want to try, and I've always seen, like, buddies of mine actually do really well with, so I think that could actually be a really cool, just nice little quality of life thing for Bouffant. And again, I know this is also a mon that Ant loves, so he's just giving me a Pokemon that he likes, at least for those two. These ones, I don't know if Ant really likes them. With Zebby, though, I think it's pretty self-explanatory what Zebstrika needs. It's really not that bad of a Pokemon on paper. Maybe a little bit more special attack because its move pool does lean special. But it all falls back on that move pool. This thing has no coverage, man. This thing has garbage coverage. If it had anything to really hit those darks, those grounds, it'd be amazing. I think like I don't know what you could give it that would make sense, though, is the only issue. I really don't know what you could give it. Let's see. If you give it a, let's look up grass type moves. I'm gonna look at grass because I don't see this thing getting a water move. You're an electric horse. That'd be a little interesting, but you know, I don't see it personally. Oh man, it's tough. Maybe Horn Leech because you got the horns up there. I think Horn Leech would be kind of cool. It'd make physical so much more viable. Actually, I kind of like the Horn Leech idea. I'm gonna roll with that one. Just something to hit grounds, and then maybe a little bit more offensive potency. That 116 speed tier is genuinely amazing, but not really being able to do anything with it offensively is kind of tough, especially when you are, you know, rocking out 75, 63, 63 bulk. Definitely not super ideal. Bruxish. This is Pokemon in Gen 7 RU. I loved using Bruxish. Obviously, we're talking from a draft league perspective, but this Pokemon's really fun to use. You pair this thing with a strong jaw, obviously, and you throw off big stabs, Psychic Fangs. It's actually pretty darn strong. Psychic Fangs, you also get like things like Crunch and Ice Fang. You don't get anything like Fire Fang or anything like that, so you do potentially struggle with steals, but Liquidation also still hurts. I think maybe, honest to God, just making this thing a little bit stronger, making it a clean 115, 120 base attack could actually really make the world of difference for this thing, making it just so much more offensively potent. Like I think it could really help this thing out in the long run, and just making it a little bit stronger. It gets access to Swords Dance, I believe, as well, and Aqua Jet. Yeah, so that's obviously a great option for it. Does it get Agility? It doesn't get Agility. Agility would be cool too, especially if you buff this thing's attack up to a clean 120, kept it at the same speed tier. It's a pretty middling speed tier, so obviously this Pokemon wouldn't be busted or anything like that, and it's obviously pretty frail. And it's hard to draft a water type that's a water psychic offensive mon, where you could draft so many bulky waters that fit your teams much better. But it would give some incentive, making it like maybe similar to, hold on, Sharpedo. Sharpedo's 120 attack, right? Yeah, I think this would be fine because like you don't even need a bunch of its special attack. You keep that the exact same and then just give it 120 attack, and it'd be so much better. It'd be like a worse Sharpedo almost, maybe a little bit more offensively potent with that that strong jaw and things like that. But you wouldn't be as fast. You wouldn't be a great cleaner. You'd be a good niche ball breaker in some matchups. You'd still be like a tier 4, tier 3 Pokemon, but it would be more draftable in my mind. And I think that's the main goal. I don't want to break these Pokemon. I don't want to make Bruxish have 150 speed, 180 attack. Like obviously that doesn't make much sense, but you know, I think a 120 attack buff and maybe giving it agility or something like that could be really nice. Psychic type without agility is also interesting. I don't think there's a lot of those. And then lastly, with Sandslash, honestly, the best thing for Sandslash would just be more speed. I think like base 85 speed, maybe a little bit more attack could also be nice for it. But part of the reason Sandslash is so hard to slot a lot of the time is because the speed tier is so doodle butter garbage. On sand is like useless to draft as that Sand Rush Sweeper. There's so many Pokemon that do that role better. And I think if you gave it like 85 speed, it wouldn't make it like the best Sand Sweeper, obviously. It would be still very mediocre at it, but when you compound that on top of the fact that it gets Stealth Rock, it gets Spikes, things like that, it could honestly be really cool, honestly. Especially under that sand, you know, guaranteed getting those up pretty much, being a lot faster. There are a lot of Scarfers that can just run Scarf and outspeed, you know, Sandslash under sand, because it's base 65, which obviously isn't that good. So I think that would be fine. Maybe like 10 or 20, it's like 10 points to its attack, but it really doesn't need it. It's still, you know, it's solid with an Assault Vest. It has the Rapid Spin buff. It gets both forms of Hazard. It's a really fun utility mon, but if it was a little bit faster, I think it would make it all the more valuable. So good suggestion by Ant. He kind of went rapid fire right off rip. Next up, we have my good buddy Jish with a fish. He has literally every effing flying type ever. So this is for every flying type out there. Josh is sick of missing Hurricanes. He wants to change it to 100 base power and 90 base accuracy, or introduce a special flying move with 90 base power. I think that would be sick. I think a 100% accurate flying move would be sick. Or even like 90, 95 or something like that. Like say you have like 95 on that. Because what's Air Slash? Pull up my boy Yard. Air Slash is 95. So like I feel like, or even just buffing Air Slash's accuracy would be really cool, because it's flying types and rock types. They got shafted. I mean, rocks don't have good physical accurate stat. All of them have a chance to miss. It makes using those Pokemon so much more terrifying. And I agree. I think using something as good as the flying type, you know, offensively this gen, especially with, you know, the addition of boots and things like that, I don't see a reason to make it to where like Air Cutter and Air Slash can both miss. I don't think they're strong enough moves or, you know, omnipresent enough to really justify doing that. So I think that would actually be really cool. I'm here with that. Lots of mods. Introduce a different type of stealth rock that can't stack with regular stealth rock. So I think what Josh is kind of saying like is kind of like Copperage's G-Max move, which obviously we don't really play with G-Maxes, but how it has the steel type stealth rock, Steel Surge. And I would totally be here for that. I know in Pokemon Insurgents, the ROM hack, they have like Foundry or like they're like fire type rocks, which is really, really cool. If you set up rocks with a Pokemon that has like the ability Foundry. So that's actually super dope. I'm totally here for that. I think it adds another layer of prepping. You might need to bring boots on your fairy type because you're taking 25% from Steel Surge. You might need to bring boots on your grass that would, normally not really care about rocks, but if they're setting up fire type pointed stones, then it's going to be a lot scarier. So I think that would actually be super dope. We know that they can do it because Copperaja G-Max, and I think it's called Steel Surge. Let's see. It won't tell me the actual G-Max. It won't tell me the actual thing in here, but I'm pretty sure it just sets up Steel type Stealth Rock to where Fairy types, they take 25% on switch. And I remember when G-Max was a thing in OU, I would run this thing a lot. I'm like, UU hazard stack teams. It was fun. It's a really cool idea, and I think it just adds another layer to the game that's not too overwhelming or too omnipresent or anything like that. So I'm here for that. Good suggestions by Mr. Josh. It's good to see him have good opinions. Now we got Liv. Liv has 3 answers, and they're going to be kind of based on, whether they're liking this, I guess. So we have Roost, Galar, Moltres. I am so here for that. This is so disappointing that you look at this Pokemon and it does not have Roost. This Pokemon would be so good with Roost, especially in draft. With Berserk and Boots, and look at that meaty ass Spadef, really solid Fish Def as well. This thing would be so much more threatening offensively, especially with stuff like Nasty Plot, and then obviously Fire Wrath and Air Slash / Hurricane, U-Turn. It gets Defog, I believe, too. So I think Roost would be so nice for this Pokemon if it ended up getting it. But it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. It is a bird that flies in the air. You don't give Zapdos Roost, that's fine. I wish it did get Roost because it would obviously also be a lot better. But I think it's ridiculous that Moltres doesn't get Roost, and I'm 100% here for this. 100% here for that. I think that's a great idea, actually. A genuinely amazing one. So, here for that, Liv. Next, unlikely future buff, Play Rough, Coco, and Bulu. Now, for those of you that don't play Showdown Draft, say you mainly play Wi-Fi stuff or you watch Wi-Fi stuff and things like that, there was a period of time, I'm sure you at least saw these videos on YouTube where it was like moveset leaks. People like data mined Pokemon Home and they saw what Pokemon were getting in the future. Well, they were mostly right with those leaks. The things they got wrong though, they did get a few things wrong, and one of those was actually that the Tapus, being Bulu and Coco, got physical Fairy Stab. And there was like a 5-month period where leaks on Showdown, because these leaks we thought were 100% credible, because there was leaks that came out previously for Isle of Armor that were like 99% credible, so we were like, this is happening. We used Coco with Play Rough, Bulu with Play Rough, and then Bulu got Grassy Glide and Coco got Rising Voltage, which, why they don't? Stupid. It's legit because Game Freak was scared they would be too broken. I don't think they would be with with the train nerf. Maybe if you have the 1.5 times train that you had Gen 7 and 6, I could see that, but I don't think so in a metagame like today, especially. So I disagree there. I think they got a little scared because it makes no sense that the terrain Pokemon don't get the terrain boosting moves. Rillaboom gets Grassy Glide and Pincurchin gets Rising Voltage. There's no reason. And every other electric type pretty much gets Rising Voltage besides Coco, because they're like, that's too much. Let's settle down a little bit. So that sucks. I'm not really here for that. Especially if you make a move specific to terrain that's really good on terrain users. Not giving it to the Pokemon that auto-sets terrain. Like the first Pokemon that auto-set terrain on switching. A little bunk, but not the end of the world. But they also got Play Rough, and Play Rough would be so nice for Coco and Bulu, man. It would be so unbelievably nice for these Pokemon. Coco, well, you think of it as like that strong special attacker under terrain, Calm Mind Sweeper, Specs Breaker, Life Orb Breaker. Its physical attack's higher. And going with things like Wild Charge, Play Rough, Roost, and like U-Turn. It'd be so hard to switch into this Pokemon, even if it didn't get Rising Voltage. If you just gave this thing Play Rough, it would make it so much better, getting that physical option. And then Bulu. Bulu is a Fairy type that's not a Fairy type. That's my one issue with Bulu. I love using Tapu Bulu. I think it was a great Pokemon. But you literally have that Fairy type as a negative. It doesn't help you in really any way, shape, or form. Besides a few resistances. It gives you a 4x weakness to poison, and you lose to dragons anyways. So does it matter that you're Fairy type? Your way of hitting them is Dazzling Gleam. I can tell you right now, A lot of dragons don't really care about base 85 DrSlacking Gleam. But what they would care about is base 130 stab play rough coming off and blowing a mass backwards, especially being that this thing got close combat this gen. This thing would be so good offensively. There would still be an argument for Rillaboom being better, and that's why I think they should do it, because there are literally better Pokemon that get access to Grassy Surge. It's not even the best Pokemon with this kind of buff. Rillaboom would arguably be better just because it can grab momentum. It's still very strong, and it's still, you know, decently naturally bulky. You don't and you don't have those that 4 times weakness poison, things like that. But Bulu would at least like be able to hold a candle to it. It would be at least in discussion. There would be people who liked Bulu more than Rillaboom because it can be a lot more offensively threatening. It can hit those flying types with Stone Edge. It has Play Rough and Horn Leech and close combat and all that good stuff. It would make it just exponentially better, and it wouldn't break these Pokemon. That's why it's so ridiculous that they don't. So I get why Liv said unlikely. She said unlikely because if they were ever getting them, they would have gotten it this gen. So it's very unfortunate, but Game Freak gonna Game Freak. Let's go Cherim. Cherim's next. I think Cherim, she said she wanted plus 10 to all of its stats. I think that would be fair. It still wouldn't be very good. Yeah, this Pokemon would super suck, but, you know, I know Liv really likes this Pokemon, so I wouldn't be opposed to it at all. It's definitely not very good. Very bad move pool. There's no reason to draft this thing in on a Sun team. If it didn't boost its attack and maybe it's boosted its special attack by 1.5, this thing would actually be pretty good. But why did Game Freak give this ability to a Pokemon that has base 60 attack? That's what I don't understand. So, and again, Game Freak gonna Game Freak. So that's gonna be the next suggestion. Shout out to Liv. We're 3 tweets down. I think we got like 20, so we're gonna try and start moving faster. And I think a lot of these are less in depth. So SirHoyer the Great said, Phalanx, a boost to its attack, maybe base 120, and ground coverage like EQ or Stomping Tantrum. Maybe also a slight boost to its speed, but I don't think that makes much sense for the Pokemon. I'm here for that. I think Phalanx is a really cool idea, but its stats, they're very lackluster. I agree. Even with that +1, you're not really breaking through anything off rip. You're really not. And with your speed too, you're outsped by a lot of Scarfers, so I don't understand why they were too afraid to give this thing a little bit more attack. And I really do think it was Game Freak like, it has an Omni boosting move, but it's no drawback other than you can't switch. I really think that this Pokemon would be a lot better with 120 attack. I'm totally here for that. I think it would make a lot of sense. It's a Spartan. It's like a Spartan Phalanx as a Pokemon. I think that'd be dope. I do agree with Jorge in the sense that speed doesn't really make sense for it. I wouldn't be, you know, screaming and kicking and crying if it got more speed. But it doesn't make a lot of sense for it. And Tantrum makes a ton of sense. Maybe not Earthquake because it is such a tiny Pokemon, but Stomping Tantrum would make a ton of sense for this Pokemon. Look, it's got a bunch of little feet. It's stomping, it's throwing a tantrum because he's, you know, he's a warrior. I'm here for it. So I'm here for that RDO, Jorge. I like the Phalanx buff, and I think Phalanx is a cool Pokemon on its own. So I'll be here for it. J Bear, Jesse504. A lot of Gen 8 Mons need more coverage, and Toxic Roost / Defog. That should that should all hopefully be in the Gen 4 remakes. Yes. Imagine Corviknight with Toxic. Imagine Corviknight with Toxic. I just want you to imagine that. That Pokemon would be super sick, nasty, disgusting. I think Dragon Ball with Toxic would be really nice for a lot of those fat normals that want to switch in, so you can cripple them more than just like, you know, Willow Wing or Thunder Waving them. I think Toxic Hex sets would be so annoying on Dragon Ball. Sub-Toxic Protect Hex, oh my god, that would be really, really nice for Bolt, but it wouldn't break it. It wouldn't break it. It wouldn't break it more than Bolt is already a broken-ass Mon in draft, but same thing with Corvi. We would just make Corvi a lot better, and it would make it worth that tier 1 slot that a lot of people aren't really worth, you know, willing to spend at this point in the Galaridex meta's history. So I'm totally here for that. I think that'd be great. There'd be a ton of Pokemon that would really appreciate that. So I think it's a good suggestion by Mr. J Bear. John, good old John Jr. Of course, a lot like Amp. Kind of picking his favorite Mons he wants to get buff. Mega Audino with Regenerated. That would be great. And it doesn't make any sense why the regular form is better than the, what do you call it, the Mega form, because Mega form doesn't have an ability. And the fact that it doesn't have an ability and it can't hold an item, it makes it to where regen, regular, Audino, it's just better all the time. If you give this thing regen, though, it's annoying. This thing is still very passive, but look at this bulk. This thing would be disgusting. Just passing fat 103 base HP wishes and staying healthy by itself without having to protect and get that wish back. And just having something, even if it wasn't regen itself, even if it didn't keep the most busted ability in the game, right? Say this thing got, I don't know, Triage. I was talking about this the other day. I think Triage would be kind of okay on it because it's like a Nurse Joy type Pokemon. It's a healer. So I think giving priority on its healing moves would be pretty dope. I think that would be pretty cool. I think you get Draining Kiss now too, so you get off with like, you know, super fat Calm Mind Draining Kiss sets, priority wishes if you need to get one up before you die, something like that. It could really make this Pokemon a lot better, and it wouldn't be like the laughing stock of Megas. And I know John would be happy to see that. I know he doesn't stand for Mega Audino slander, but a lot of the time it isn't really slander, unfortunately. Metagross with Shift Gear. Yes. Okay, so I know you guys see Ments all over the channel. Metagross is my, it always flip-flops between Metagross and Salamence. It's my favorite Pokemon ever. I absolutely love both of them. I'm a Gen 4 baby. Those are my first games, and I love big Metagross. Metagross is one of my favorite Pokemon ever. It's an amazing, like, you know, high tier 3 type mon, reliable rocker, strong wall breaker, AV sponge, bulky physically defensive seal. Amazing Pokemon. If they gave this thing Shift Gear, again, it wouldn't break it, and that's why I like it, and it makes sense, and it wouldn't break it. It would be so much better. It would be so much better. Doubling this thing's base 70 speed makes it that potent offensive sweeper because you boost that, and you have a reliable way to boost that 135 attack other than Home Claws. You start throwing off Meteor Mashers and Earthquakes and, you know, a bunch of different things. I think that would make this Pokemon ridiculous. I think, what do you call it? Shift Gear could borderline make it either one of the best tier 2s in the format, or even a borderline low tier 1. I think it would make it terrifying because you still have those other options of bulky rocks or assault vests or things like that. So I think that would be amazing for Metagross, and I would kill to see that thing get Shift Gear. Every game, I kind of pray for that. It's in the back of my mind. Like they're gonna add Shift Gears and move tutor, and they're gonna give it to Metagross, but it doesn't happen because big Pokemon can't get good things. Mega Pidgeot Hyper Voice. This would be awesome. So those of you that play on Showdown or you play Gen 7, Mega Pidgeot is an awesome Pokemon. It has No Guard, which is obviously a phenomenal ability, especially with things like Hurricane and Heat Wave and things like that. And this thing got Hyper Voice, so it got reliable normal stab. There'll be a lot of Pokemon that could check it before, like bulky electrics, that don't check it as easily now. But again, it wouldn't break it. You still have bulky fat rocks, especially, just kind of sit in front of Pidge forever. Like if John was like Focus Blast Mega Pidge, I'd be like, no, let's not do that, because then it would break through the rocks too, and there's no guard, and you know. But Hyper Voice, I'm super here for, because the Rotom Heats of the world, the Tapu Kokos of the world, they wouldn't check you as easily. The more frail electric types out there, if you resist Hurricane and can make yourself bulky enough to not be 2-hit KO'd by Heat Wave, you're kind of vibing, you're chilling, and I think that would be really nice for Mega Pidgeot. It's already a great Pokemon, so I think this would make it a genuinely amazing Mega in a Showdown type format, but like a National Dex format. But you know, I'm not super opposed to this idea. I think this would be super cool. So good suggestion by Mr. John Jr. It's good to see him have good opinions. It doesn't happen very often, but it's really good to see him have good opinions. The washed up husband that he is. Next we have DrSlacking, who actually makes amazing content. I heard that he might be coming back and making videos soon. I think he tweeted about it or something like that, and that would be awesome because he's actually one of my favorite people to watch. I think he makes great content. But we have DrSlacking. Grapplock, water typing it should have always had, plus a slightly improved move pool. I would totally be here for this. It doesn't make sense why it's not a water fighting, and water fighting is such an awesome typing, and I think it would make this thing just a lot better. Liquidation, obviously already in its move pool. It doesn't get Aqua Jet, does it? I don't think so. That'd be cool. I think actually Aqua Jet would be awesome. He was talking about buff move pool. I think Aqua Jet would be really cool because this thing obviously is incredibly slow, but it's decently bulky. I think AV sets are decent, especially with like Technician power up punches and then a Technician Aqua Jet. I think that would actually be really cool if you give it that water stab on top of it. That would be awesome. You get cool things like Circle Throw on close combat and bulk up. You get like the weird Octolock move, which is cool. You can be taunt like a Stall Breaker for super fat things. Seismic Toss. This Pokemon's really cool, actually. I've always wanted to try it, but I think giving it a water type would make it a ton better. So I'm totally here for that idea. I think that'd be a good idea. So there's that. I think he said Golisopod next. Golisopod ability would be nice to have a second option, even if I do like Emergency Exit. I think that would be awesome. Now, I do agree with him in the sense that Emergency Exit isn't as bad as a lot of people say a lot of the time. You can really use it to your advantage and get a free pivot because of it. But sometimes it does just suck, and there's not a real way to play around it, and it really does just blow. So as for an ability I would give it, though, that's the tough part. I don't know what ability I would give it. Maybe you would give it, what? You give it, like, Swarm? Or what you could do is you give it, I think this would actually be cool, is Battle Armor. I think Battle Armor would actually be sick. Or Shell Armor. Maybe Shell Armor would be better. Both of those. The ones that don't let you get crit. I think that would actually be a really cool idea for it. I think it makes sense thematically. It's not super busted, and it'll make this Pokemon a lot better. So I don't think you can you know, really go too wrong with that. And again, the goal isn't to make these Pokemon broken, it's to make them better, because we want to see Pokemon that aren't, you know, don't see as much love from Game Freak. The Pokemon that aren't big Charizard with 87 forms actually have, you know, more merit in usage. So, and then Spupa plus 100 in all stats. This is not an inside joke I'm hip to, but if you gave Pupa a plus 100 in all stats, it'd probably be pretty broken. So I think that just goes against what I just said fundamentally. So I'm gonna have to. This is gonna be our first hard no stamp of today. Spupa does not get more broken. You get that thing in Eviolite? Oh man, good lord. Actually, it wouldn't be. This thing's move pool is fucking awful. Never mind. Spupa can have plus 100 in all stats. I take back my stamp. He can have a plus 100. I give him the okay. You hear that, Game Freak? OGalbina with his 500 subs on YouTube almost. He says that Spupa can get 100 plus 100 in all stats. So you better make it happen. Yeah. Next we have Diet Type, which is going to be Blacephalon getting Poltergeist. Now, I think this is another one that we thought was going to get Poltergeist, and it didn't. And I think that would be super dope for Blaze, because again, it's a Pokemon a lot like Coco. You think like, oh, strong special attack. Yeah, for sure. This thing's dumb strong on the special side. 151. It has 127 base attack with Flare Blitz and Flame Charge and cool options like that. I think it gets knockoff as well. So I think this would make mixed Blacephalon sets incredibly viable. You could literally go max attack and then like no special attack really. It still get the special attack boost and rep through teams like that. They make it a great mixed wall breaker, and they make it to where those physical type walls I want to switch on. I mean the Spadef walls I want to switch on it aren't going to be able to do so as easily, which I think could be really cool. It just adds more versatility to the Pokemon. Physical sets could obviously be very, very cool in this sense. So I'm totally here for it. Wait, did it not get Flare Blitz? I thought I got Flare Blitz in the DLC. Is that another one we thought it was going to get? No way. That's lame. It should also get Flare Blitz. That'd be sick. It doesn't make sense why it doesn't get Flare Blitz. It's a fire type and he's crazy. So he should get Flare Blitz. I'm here for that. Just add like gets Flare Blitz right there. Next up we have Luxans. Beat more attacks or go more burr. This is a movement I can get behind. You hear that, Kurt? I don't know if Kurt's watching this. My good buddy just Kurt. He's not a part of the beat train, which is going to be Charge-a-Bug. Now, Lux loves Charge-a-Bug. He drafts it an absolute metric shit ton. It's really funny. And he actually always performs well with it. But he's 82 attack. I've seen him pull up with like Bandit and stuff like that before. It's really funny. It gets webs. It's a fun mon. Pretty good as well. So, especially for like, you know, like a cheap 1-2 pointer. So let's give Charge-a-Bug like an extra 20 woods attack or something like that. That'd make it a lot better. I guess it wouldn't be like a busted Pokemon, but I'm always here for beat love. Samurai, but stronger. Another Pokemon that Lux uses really well, and I won't lie, this Pokemon sucks. This Pokemon is garbage. I remember in the gym challenge I was playing Lux, and Lux put Samurott on his the APA gym challenge. And I'm the Dragon type gym leader, and gym leaders get like one big Uber, and I got Dialga. And Lux pulled up with an Ice Beam Samurott to my Assault Vest, just max HP, but Assault Vest Dialga, and did 13% with Ice Beam. I thought it was very funny. I thought it was hilarious because he tried to go into it to get the kill on the Dialga with it. And I was at like 18%. I took 13 and I killed it with Thunderbolt. It was pretty funny. I think this Pokemon would be cool. Like in all the fan games, it got like a fighting typing on the side. Maybe buff its attack and its speed a little bit. I think that would be cool. Obviously it gets Aqua Jet, things like that. I think the speed would really help though. I think speed would really help with this thing. If it was like base 85, base 90, it'd be a lot better. As like a nice niche special mixed wall breaker. It gets cool coverage like Ice Beam and Mega Horn for the things that doesn't like hitting normally. It gets knockoff, it gets Hydro Pump and Ice Beam and Rage Shell, Swords Dance. A bunch of cool stuff. So I don't think it would really hurt much to give Samurott a little bit of love. So there's a stamp of approval for Samurott and Charge-a-Bug. There you go, Lux. I'm sure that's all he really needs. Next we have Henry suggesting Solgaleo getting Stealth Rocks. I think it makes sense. It's not one that I'm too crazy on either way, but it wouldn't break it. Dustmane's 87 times better in Ubers, so why not give it Stealth Rock? And Dustmane can get Stealth Rock, so because it obviously gets Necrozma's move pool. So I don't think it would break it. It doesn't make sense why that one can get it and this one can't. Why things like Metagross can set up rocks and Solgaleo can't. They should have totally given it to it when Stealth Rock became a TR in Sword and Shield, but they didn't, unfortunately. Hopefully it gets in the future. I'm here for that one. I'm not super well versed on Uber's draft, but yeah. Garchomp with Dragon Dance. There it is. There's Big Chomper. This is what we've been waiting for. Everybody always wants Garchomp with Dragon Dance. I I don't know how I feel about this in draft. I feel like Swords Dance Scale Shot is still very good on its own. And I think even some weeks you might want to run Scale Shot and Swords Dance above Dragon Dance if you can find ample setup opportunities. Dragon Dance, I feel like in a draft setting would make this Pokemon a little too much. I think getting that instant 1 turn boost to your attack and your physical, your speed, plus Garchomp's crazy natural bulk, no more hidden power. You can set up 2 Dragon Dances on a lot. You really can. I think that would make this Pokemon busted. Ban-worthy? I don't know. I think it's something that we'd have to see. I remember when we thought Garchomp was getting Dragon Dance, or we thought it might get Dragon Dance, everybody was like, oh man, it's gonna ban Garchomp. Garchomp's gonna be busted. I don't know. I think we would have to see it first, but I think it would be a lot of fun to play with if you ended up getting first overall in a league and you wanted to try out Dragon Dance Garchomp. So I'd be here for it. I'm not super against it. It's a good idea. And then Corviknight with Toxic and Stealth Rock. We talked about this earlier when Jesse was doing his. Now, I understand Toxic, and it should for sure get Toxic, because everything gets Toxic. And I think in Gen 8 it was really dumb that they were like, well, now only Poison types should get Toxic and thematically correct Pokemon. Yeah, but all the Gen 1 through 7 Pokemon already can do that, despite them not being thematically. So I feel like if you wanted to do that, you should have done it earlier on. And at this point, you kind of got to bite the bullet and be like, all Pokemon can use Toxic. So the fact that it just kind of shafts Gen 8 Pokemon. Which I feel like should be the opposite of what you want to do. You want to make people want to use your new Pokemon and things like that. So, yeah, I would totally be here for Corby getting Toxic. As for Rocks, I don't think Henry likes Skarmory. He wants nobody to use Skarmory ever again. I think this thing would be nuts with Rocks. Obviously, it would just be better Skarmory if it got a Rocks and Toxic. It would just be objectively better Skarmory. All Skarmory would have over it is bulky on the Fist F side, and it would have spikes. But at that point, I really miss out on much. You get a much better Pokemon overall for Corviknight if you get, Rocks plus Toxic on it. And honestly, Corvi is a better Pokemon overall right now, but at least Skarmory has its niche. Henry said, no, Skarmory is bad and I don't like it. Let's give it to Corviknight. Or he just really likes Corviknight. I'd be here for it though, especially the Toxic thing. The Rocks and Solgaleo and like DD Chomp, yeah. Rocks, I don't know if I necessarily agree with Corvi getting Rocks, but also it doesn't really make a lot of sense why Skarmory gets Rocks, unless I'm like super dumb and I don't like understand the origin story. But yeah, I'm not super against it though. I'm not super against it. Next up, we have Lakinus. How much more do we have? Oh goodness, we're getting there. We're getting there. Lakinus, Zaru knockoff. Yes, yes. Why doesn't Zaru get knockoff? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. There's so many things that Pokemon does that just don't make a lick of sense. None at all. Zarude. No. Nope. Doesn't get knockoff. It gets Darkest Lariat, pretty much. That's it. It gets things like Lash Out, I suppose, as well. It gets Crunch. Why not knockoff? Why not knockoff? What's the difference between... I just don't... I don't get why it can't knock off, but it can do things like Darkest Lariat and spin a circle really fast with Dark Energy and hit things and crunch things. Why can't it go like this? Bah. There's so many Pokemon that get knockoff. If Clefable can learn knockoff, the dark, physically offensive legendary Pokemon should get knockoff. I feel like that's ridiculous. It would make Zarude a lot better. It would make it a lot stronger. It would make it more easily splashable on teams. It's hard to draft a dark type without knockoff, in my opinion. So I think it would make it a lot better, for sure. And it doesn't make sense why it doesn't. Aegislash, give it its Gen 7 stats and let it keep CC. Now, Liv is saying, yeah, from the corner. Because she doesn't think Aegislash is that good. In Gen 7 especially. She doesn't think it's a bannable Pokemon. Personally, I think Aegislash is a busted mon. Especially in Gen 7. I think that the 10 base stats and all of it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But when you put it into practice, it really does make a difference. On a lot of 2-hit KOs, a lot of OHKOs when you're offensively, a lot of living dumb hits that you shouldn't live. Giving it back its old stats and then letting it keep that CC, I think it would just go right back to being banned. It would make it a lot better, obviously. So if you're like a big Aegislash fan, for sure. I think that if this happened though, we would see Aegislash go bye-bye. Especially because again, no more Pursuit this gen too. So it's already so good offensively this gen. That'd be nuts. So I'm gonna disagree on Aegislash. It's gonna be one of my big stance. But I understand the thinking, but I think Gen 7 Aegislash is busted. And let's just give it close combat and not buff it, nerf it. You're crazy. You're crazy lacking this. And then we have Palisand. Make Water Compaction a Water Immunity. Yeah, why not? Wouldn't break the Pokemon. It legit just wouldn't break it. We have plenty of ground types that are immune to Water Moose. We have Seismitoad and Gastrodon. Why can't Palisand? And make Palisand so much better than it already is. Palisand's already a super dope low tier ground. I'm very much here for it. I think it would be great. So, That's gonna be Palisand. I mean, lack of suggestions. I think that's fine. Next, we have Cursed Magpie. More Pico. Aura Wheel plus Protect, or Aura Wheel and Protect stats can be so fun, but it just needs more survivability. I like more Pico. I think more Pico is a cute-ass Pokemon. And I wouldn't be opposed to it being a little bit better. I think its speed tier is pretty decent, especially the fact that you can so easily boost with Aura Wheel. It's cool to play mind games with. It has good coverage. But yeah, that thing is, it is paper thin, man. Maybe giving it a little bit more bulk would help, or even just giving it more attack. Like, making it to where, like, yeah, you're the glass cannon tiny angry hamster, but you hit, like, a metric. You hit so unbelievably hard. Sorry, I kind of lost my words. I was going to say you hit, like, a metric shit ton, but that doesn't make any sense. You hit, like, a brick shit house, I guess, would be a good one. But yeah, I'd totally be here for a more Pico buff. He's a cute guy. I think he's funny. And, I mean, again, it wouldn't break the Pokemon, so why not make him a little bit better? I'm super here for that one. So that's definitely the move. Here's Josh. Here's the Josh we know and love. Next. And then, yeah, maybe it wouldn't be... See, follow me on Twitter for great interactions like this. Me telling Josh that Dragovich is super bad. Okay, next. It looks like we have 3 left. Awesome. So, next we have Incog, saying, I guess the general idea of a rock-type Pokemon need more options on the special side, plus accurate moves on the already abysmal physical side. Monsters with Terrakion and Aerodactyl would benefit from rock slides not missing. Additionally, give Aerodactyl Head Smash, it would be more fun. Yes, this is a lot like what Josh was saying earlier in Josh's one good opinion of his life, in the sense that flying types don't get an accurate stab from the special side, and rock types don't get an accurate stab from the physical side. I think that would be amazing. Make rock slide 100% accurate, please. I understand, like, thematically, like, rocks can miss if you throw them at people. Yeah, but this is Pokemon. There also isn't any flying dragons in the real world. So, like, I don't understand why rock slide misses at this point in time. I think it's super dumb. Especially because it's not an overpowered, strong move. So I think that would definitely make sense. And then more special options on the special side. I think they're taking a step in the right direction. They gave us Meteor Beam, but Meteor Beam is obviously a 2-turn move. It's not as splashable on a lot of Pokemon. And then we have Power Gem. More options for that would definitely be awesome. I'm totally here for that. I think that'd be a great idea. How strong you would make it, though, is more to be seen, I guess. How strong would I make it? What's Power Gem's base power? Hold on. Let's go to Mega Diancie, my favorite rock type. Power Gem is base 80, so maybe you do like a base 100, special rock type move. You can make it like 90-95% accurate. I think that'd be cool. And again, there isn't a lot of special rock types, so it wouldn't overtly benefit a million things. But I guess it would help with coverage wise, and it would help things like Diancie, Mega Diancie, Neolego. Things like that. So I'll be here for it. I think that's the move. And then Aerodactyl Head Smash. Yes, sir. I love Aero. I don't know if you guys know, but Mega Aerodactyl is my favorite Pokemon to use in draft. And I think the only reason I wouldn't want to see this happen is because I think if you gave Mega Aero Head Smash, this Pokemon would be fucking potentially ban-worthy. Tough Claws Head Smashes. I don't think you guys realize how strong that would be. That would be insane. Obviously, regular Aero has regular Rock Head. Has Rock Head. Which would be awesome to get a way to, really benefit from that ability. It wouldn't boost you any. It would just make it to where you don't take the Life Orb, the crash damage or anything like that. So, not the Life Orb damage or anything like that. You wouldn't take the recoil damage from Head Smash. That'd be awesome. I'd totally be here for regular Aero getting Head Smash. When we jump over to the Showdown side of things, when we see Mega Aero getting Head Smash, we might as well give it Brave Bird, just ban it, make it really good to Ubers or something like that. So I think it would be really cool, though. I love Aero. It's definitely my favorite fossil Pokemon, for those of you who don't know. So I'm actually totally here for it. Make Mega Aero broken, sure. We can't use it in-game anyways. I'll just draft in, Ubers Showdown Leagues or something. Next, we have Grapplock. We kind of already talked about Grapplock. Grapplock's pretty pog, though. I'm here for Grapplock buff. We talked maybe giving it that water typing, giving it Aqua Jet for that Technician, making it a little bit better without making it busted. And then lastly, we have ZDH Gaming saying Bulu, giving it an actual good moveset. We tested on this a little bit earlier as well. Bulu getting Play Rough would be nuts. I think it getting Grassy Glide would be awesome, but they're cowards and they won't give my boy what he deserves. So unfortunately, he did not get it. And then lastly, we have Zoro. What a way to end off the video. Zoroark may get dummy thick as its hair. So we want a thick Zoroark. You know what? I'm sure Kurt would love... Zorua. I'm sure Kurt would love a thick Zoroark. I see Kurt loving that. Oh my gosh, it's still Zorua. Zoro. There we go. I'm sure Kurt would love a thick Zoroark. I mean, could you really make this thing bulky, though? Probably not. I think it's fine how it is. Maybe making it, like, stronger or faster, just because I don't like Zoroark. I think it sucks in draft, but a lot of people really do like it. So maybe getting a little bit of a buff could be cool. Dummy thick, though. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching, I guess. I guess that's going to be it. Big shout out to everybody who, you know, was able to kind of comment on this. I really appreciate those of you who took time out of your day to say, like, you know, what you think would be cool. It helps me make content. So shout out to everybody who, you know, I talked about or went over their tweet in this server. Follow me on Twitter for sure. I believe I have a link on my channel page. I'll probably link in the description of this video as well. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, all genuine, all that, you know, generic YouTuber, mumbo jumbo and all that good stuff. But yeah, that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching again. Later.